Oh, man. Ho, 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 what's wrong? Santa? I didn't expect to see you this year. I've been a naughty little thing. Well, Santa can't hardly give a gift away nowadays thanks to Amazon. Well, why are you sad, little pudding cup? I fixed all the things on my Toyota Stout and then I gave it away. But don't be sad. That was a very nice thing to do. Well, I'm not sad I gave the Stout away. I'm just sad because now I don't have a busted old mini truck to work on. Well, don't be sad about that. Santa brought you a very special turd this year. Oh! Ho, 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 ho. Love tap? Hell yeah, let's build some stuff. Well, welcome back, Love Tap. Everyone's watching, they're like, oh, he's a phony. What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to puddins.fab.shop. Some of y'all know, some of you may not know. This is the Love Tap. What's a Love Tap? I don't know, over a couple years ago, I come across this $500 Chevy Love. Had to have it for my buddy Slick. We went out and got it. The guy had a little pickup bed, trailer that come with it. So now the original bed off of this is my scrap trailer out there. We took that bed, put it on here. Basically low budget mini truck, guys. We ended up doing a Weber swap on it, re-indexed the torsion bars, 4-inch block,
4-inch block
in the back. Threw a cheapo eBay fuel cell in it because the gas tank was garbage. Obviously, we had shined on her, dime whites because those are cheap, factory steelies, and Slick wanted the full caps. Inside, I don't know, about a $12 seat cover I'd found on Amazon or something. The dash is terrible. Don't worry about it. You keep a little spit shine on it and it looks fine. At one point, Slick found one door panel. Ooh, that really spruced her up.
Look at one side at a time, don't look at both.
The floor pan is rusted out. I had a stop sign that we cut up, self-tappered in here. Oh yes, I'll never forget that because I hit the one fuel line that's underneath this truck with the tip of it. He pulled out and fuel was going everywhere. Couple license plates over here to save those feet from dragging the ground. And what you see is what you get. An old school mini truck that we did as cheap as you could do. And Slick's been driving it, but here lately in the last year, she's been a little more temperamental than what she was when we first got her on the road.
She don't like the cold weather very much.
She's running funny because of the floors, because of the terrible suspension. Slick don't mind it so much, but I kind of do. So that's why I gave Slick the Stout. And he's been driving the absolute tires off the Stout now. So this thing, we have a buddy David, who y'all have maybe seen him on the channel a time or two.
Old Pringles.
Yeah, old Mr. Pringle. He got that old curved mustache and he's like 20 years at least older than us.
Yeah, he's like 48.
Old guys. But he's into the culture, and we're gonna make him pay his due respects. we started with cheap, busted mini trucks, and you are too, pal. So me and Slick got to talking, and his Bronco lost its transmission, so he gave his wife his Jeep. It's a mess. Long story short, he needed a hero.
There she is.
There she is. So Slick gave him the Love to drive a couple days, and then Slick didn't know I was giving him the Stout, and so then we were talking. I'm like, dude, y'all just give the Love to David. And that's what we're going to do, and that's why I want it back so we can make it a little better. David tried to drive it the other day and made it like 5 miles from his house and had to turn around because it wasn't acting right. We got a list of things to do. I've got us a checklist for engine tune-up, including better, not so loud exhaust, because that one drives me crazy. We've got some fab work. Hopefully get it right in a little better. May even try to get that floor sealed up a little better, because when it's 30 out, it's like 28 in there. And then some wiring stuff, a little bit of this, a little that. I don't know. We're going to just get plumb buck nasty this week. Right now, we are going to start with trying to get it to run better. So for that, I think, especially the old school mini truck, if you've done a Weber swap on it, a good thing always to start with check-in is for vacuum leaks.
Looks like it's down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's down that base one.
I don't know if it's the base getting it, that base gasket. I don't know if y'all can hear the engine change, but it definitely is. We've got a vacuum leak somewhere. Or that may have been bouncing right off of that, and it is hitting up there on the head where the intake gasket goes. According to our cam, it sounds like it's doing it a little bit when we spray that base. It also sounded like it a little bit up here at number 1 area on the intake gaskets. Don't worry, old girl who just chattered an awful lot. You're in good hands now.
Chattering because it's happy.
Oh, happy to be back at the Puddins.fab shop. We built this one in the backyard at the old house, actually underneath the canopy. And one other thing, if you're a love person, you may be excited to see this thing has points. Points are good until they're not. Right here is an NOS distributor from 82 Isuzu, and we're going to be putting electronic ignition on this one, so stick around for that. All right, so I had adapted this sucker on here. Shouldn't be too bad to pull her all off real quick. Did you pull the nut off that, or was it missing?
I pulled it off. It's right here.
Ooh, you want to know how I swapped it? Look at that custom adapter. Have you retaped that?
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he was trying
I was gonna say, because if he did it, then dang, did a good job, or that's some good quality tape. Pay attention to our vacuum. That one right there is going down to our vacuum advance. You can tell by that hose I never replaced it. A little electric choke. Pinch her off. Just like when you're going number 2 and gotta leave in a rush. You better pinch her off. Weber. Yep, that gasket's gonna need replaced.
Looks like it was sealing though.
Yeah, I bet that was all right. It sure seemed unhappy when we were spraying towards the bottom. That's the problem with sending this stuff. Like right there's 3 different vacuum ports, and we just found the leak right there. That's why when we were spraying that way, it was being a pain. That one was cracked out. Not guaranteed to be all the leaks, but that was one of them. Those look press fit and they look like steel.
Maybe we can weld those holes up?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I was just thinking. I got a welder. Reach down in there and zap, zap, zap them.
Oh, she's loose. I remember this thing being kind of a pain to get on there. You gotta pull it up, get the nuts.
There went that.
That one's gone.
She gone. Yeah, if you want your Weber to run good, I highly recommend the mini tunnel ram. Yeah, she probably wasn't leaking. That looks like it was pinched down on there, sealed up pretty stinking good.
Let me just lose all the nuts.
Yeah, just lose it all, heal with it.
You go ahead and pull the intake.
Not really. Pulling that intake's about the last thing I want to do. I'm curious if this one right here ain't loose. Nope, she pretty snug. Dude, is that intake I got for one of these? Do we got a high performance manifold just chilling in here? Yeah.
Looks a little different.
Yeah, that looks smaller. It's got to be for a Datsun. Damn old little Datsun. Let's play good news, bad news. Bad news. When we did our spray down test, I suspect the front, like number 1 intake runner's leaking that gasket. Bad news. None of the bolts were loose, so it's not as simple as that. Bad news. There's gonna be good news eventually, hold on. We called 3 parts houses and none of them have them or can get them. Good news. We just found one parts house. We gotta pay an extra $8 to have them tomorrow, but we will have them tomorrow. That's better than not getting them at all. So we are gonna rip this intake off of this. That's good because we can kind of see, I see the EGR valves up underneath there and stuff, so we can kind of inspect and really see where all could we possibly be leaking. And the main real good news is there, eventually it will go back together, just not today. Bad news. About 1,000 heater hoses seem to hook to this damn thing. Should've just said, let's play bad news, bad news. We're gonna start by draining this radiator. We'll let her bleed down some and hopefully not make such a huge mess. Hey, good news, the fact that this is coming out without breaking. Oh, no. All right, sir sprays a lot, calm down. There we go. That's how I like to do it to prevent making a mess. Well, that sure ain't flowing out there. Do you have any coolant in it at all, Slick? Guys, if you want to get into something cool to build for cheap, old school mini trucking.
Well, kind of. Until they can't get you the intake gaskets.
Extra $8 upcharge. Getting crazy.
Price of being cool.
She got a thermostat?
Yeah, 180.
She got a heater that works?
Yeah.
When it wants to?
Ooh.
Oh. She sounded like she had some Taco Bell now. We'll get a little ventilation going. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love how I heard that and you're just chilling. Here, hold that. I'll be right back.
Run! Not ideal. Hey, it's done.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Right on time.
Hey, it had water in it.
I'm actually happy to see this because I was not convinced. Follow me for more pro tips on proper mechanicking abilities.
For proper mess making.
You're gonna pull a love intake off of 1.8, you better have you a little stubby wubby. The bottom two, that one and that one, you're able to get to. The rest, we should be able to do with just a ratchet. Even the other bottom ones I got with the ratchet. Going back together should be a lot easier because there's a valve down there that hooks up to an exhaust. That's no longer gonna be with us. This crossover tube right there is no longer gonna be with us. Once we get it off, it'll be nice because these we can weld up. Kill. Oh. I guess it won't fall straight off, but it didn't even sound like it moved at all. Like she's been on there since 79.
There are a few more whack.
We're gonna see how tough that thermostat house thing is. All right. Our exhaust crossover tubey thingy right there is what's got us. Woo, we got lucky. I got one worn out blade left. Or Santa when you need them. Oh, of course. Why would they not be attached to the bottom in two more places? Next, I will properly demonstrate how to remove a Japanese devil clamp. That one's for Pearl Harbor. Be free. All right, we'll let Slick start cleaning up on intake gaskets. Super scraper, my friend.
I was about to ask you where it was.
So this right here is gonna be a problem now. Or is it?
While he's welding that up, I'm gonna true this up with a flat table and some sandpaper. As you can tell, gets it pretty even.
Hope they're more even than these welds. Oh, she's welded up and glowing hot. Just tack, tack, tack. Take your time. It don't really matter, guys. As long as it's welded up, that's not an exhaust leak now.
Just pitted. That's what I was trying to clean up.
Dang. She'll seal up.
Yep. This one looks like it's aluminum.
I'm gonna say these two are steel and then that one's aluminum. Because why wouldn't it be? I bet you those don't leak again. That aluminum one, she pulled right out. It may even been loose, leaking a little bit. These ones are snug. We're gonna leave them. Now this one we can't get to. We could try to weld her up aluminum. Aluminum would be a pain, especially dirty cast. So it's the right size to run just a 1/4 20 tap through, and that's what we'll do. Sealed, dang it. We'll put a bolt in it. A little thread seal in on this sucker, and that should do it right there, guys. Custom with the K. Need to make a block off plate that looks like that right there. All of that for that. Shoot. About to thread that hole too.
Start threading all the holes.
I'm gonna thread every damn one of them. Looks like it's about ready for a 1/4 inch plug. Them other ones don't go through. You look like you're from Home Alone. Get out of here, Harv. Before you get me hurt. It's the worst that could happen.
Going crooked. working.
Woo-hoo! Genius. We need to go a little deeper. The problem is that's kind of hollow. So we ain't got quite threads down in there as deep as I'd like, but it looks like she's working pretty good. And this beats building a block off plate way faster. Boy, she'll seal her, she won't. Put your safety glasses on. Got a nice little plug, put a little hooky puck on her.
Very nice. Tight, tight.
Boom! Explodes the... I like it. We'll celebrate with some Taco Boy. Oh, a little victory dance. We ate our food. It was delicious. I put a regular plug right there because that other one's ugly. Slick slowly working on cleaning these up. And I decided to go ahead and figure out our electronic ignition. NOS distributor from 81 to 82 Zuzu Pup has the pickup coil in there. This was like $100 shipped off eBay. I don't think that's bad. Pertronics cost more than that. However, the electronic ignition control module, what that thing's supposed to trigger to fire a coil was expensive. Like $400+ if you could find one. Yeah, $400 ain't no damn way. Let me introduce y'all to my friend, GM HEI ignition module thingy. That's
really scientific there.
that's a professional name. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the knockoff Delphi, and I got on the Amazon. However, they did have good reviews. They're like $16 a piece, so I bought 2 of them. We'll keep a spare in the glove box. These are what's in your GM HEI, and you can use them on other ignition systems, guys. $16 or $458 off of Rock Auto. $16, please. And I found this very professional looking wiring diagram online, and it really spoke to me. On our 12-volt side of our coil, that's got to go to power. Terminal B goes to power. Terminal C goes to the negative on your coil. You want a good ground, and that's what we got going here. That's our power. This one goes to the negative on our coil. This is a ground. Ground. I don't know if it's mattered, but this is grounded. And then W and G just go to your 2 wires on here. This third wire is a ground for this, and I don't even know why, because it don't actually go up and ground this. All that matters is with this hooked up, and when we spin this, she fires that coil. Now, I was curious if it matters if these are swapped, and I don't know if it does or not for certain, but the spark always looks a little hotter and more consistent to me when they're hooked up like that. So that's what we're gonna do. Found this little cheapo heat sink from like a 94 Camaro or something. Come to find out, it don't actually match this, but we're gonna grind off these alignment pins and drill some new holes, and we'll make it work. And that, my friends, is how we're gonna put about $130 electronic ignition in this sucker. Get rid of our little guide pins. We don't need no guidance. Did our spare. We're gonna go ahead and put that in here. And y'all see how shiny this is? This sucker wasn't shined up from slick. David had it for like a day and then sent pictures, and this thing was polished like we just rolled it out of the shop once again. He has pride in his old crappy truck. We like it. Damn, look like Count Dracula. Ho 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 ho. Well, yeah, get her slotted out. Bend us up a little bracket. You probably ain't never seen this old gal without her makeup on, huh? Slick got us as cleaned up as we're gonna get.
What's under door number 1?
Nothing good.
Come on.
Woo! Looks like Freddy Krueger's face.
Hey, the tape's still there.
Lucky penny.
Ooh. 1984 model.
Oh, same as my wife.
Oh,
Yeah, give that. I better put that in my pocket. Whoever notched out that floor pan did a good job last time. Slick being the sheet metal, man. We're not getting crazy here, guys, but we just want that to seal up. And y'all see what the truck is. We don't want to just purposely throw crap at it, but you know, you also got to draw a line with this thing. So the point is to do a kind of beat into submission. He'll probably want to curve some corners and stuff more than I would. But basically, we want to just be able to lay something in there, weld it, screw it, whatever, and then seam seal the edges. We're just trying to keep that cold air from coming in. Well, Slicky got us a template. The scrap, well, it ain't scrap, but it's left over from some Scout panels. Check those out on the second channel if you ain't been watching me there. I'm doing a little sheet metal repair on the second channel because it gets repetitive. Anyhow, for what we're doing, if we're missing a 1/4 inch right there, should be all right. As far as me, I've got some ignition modules to weld up. Good thing we gave them a spare already. Weld our nuts on the back side. That way we can weld that. Quick release feature. Oh, she's hot. That heat sink's doing its job. Sinking all that heat right into it. Spot welded her in. Really happy with how that little unit turned out. Put an extra screw on here. Yes, it's extremely repetitive, but I'm gonna ground it. And then if you look off our distributor, we got one wire going into this bundle, and then none of them, they're just making a freaking mess. So we're gonna unplug this thing. All that matters is our red and black hookup is the one that actually feeds the ground. We don't want to show the sheet metal because sheet metal is really about precision, taking your time and being gentle. She fitting?
close.
I do want to show you we're putting some silicone cooler paste. All right, not to be confused with like a toothpaste. Not a mini cool. It's gonna help this sucker cool. Put a nice fat dollop back behind there. What are we doing, pal? Knocking the dust off the old bead roller? Don't warp it.
You gotta worry about that. Already done that.
Just doing our wiring here. Too much stuff sharing off of our coil, so I was checking some of our... Anyways, let's just cut to the chase here. Who the heck put this 6-foot ground on here to go right to the battery tray? Guys, y'all see this thing? Look, see how much I trust it? I'm leaning on it. Damn! Hey, did I put that on there? 3 hours later.
Relax.
Shoot, that looks good.
That'll work. That's solid.
Dang, found some good metal there, huh? I bet there's, I was gonna say, I bet there's brace for that seat or something. Proportioning valve.
My portion valve. All right, David.
Whoop on it, Racket Ricky. Don't hit it too hard, knocking more holes in there.
I know I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Hey, we gotta have at least one whistling hole for it to feel right. Gotta keep David on his toes. I decided to pull out the old 6-footer, and I had a red I was gonna swap in. And I checked and verified this does run down to our block because we want a good ground there. This also grounds out to the body, and this was tucked right over here. Are you sure I did this? Did you know that that led to just another terminal? I'm gonna blame you. Someone slapped that other one on there. I don't know. We're going with this one. There's no reason this shouldn't work as a good ground. We just had that on there for fun. You know, it happens. We didn't need that socket anyhow. Ooh, one side's been burning clean. The other side ain't. It ain't what it looks like, I swear.
Don't show Ashley this.
Teamwork. Teamwork. Speaking of teamwork, I'm gonna finger plug number 1. Will you bump it?
Yeah.
Make sure she's in neutral.
Right?
Go ahead. You got pushing the clutch on this rig?
No battery.
I like how you let your Indian come out.
No battery?
No battery. White man dumb. Only a white man try move horse. No feed.
No feed.
Let's see if this horse will move now. You're gonna have to go slow, buddy. But, oop, right in there is pretty close.
Yep.
About right in there, we're in dwell. We're gonna get her top dead center here where we can swap this sucker out. Number 1's right here. We should be pointing pretty stinking close to that. Dead nuts. The smokes are rolling, baby. Yeah, got it. Time for another round of bad news, bad news. We'll start with the good news. Good news. Slick's got that pan ready to beat into submission. Bad news. They sold me this as a 8182 Love distributor, and it is clearly not. Our OG spins from interlocking to our oil pump. This one would spin off of a gear from the cam or something. So that is not gonna work where this is supposed to work. And I've already looked at the stuff. There's not a good way to combine the two, or we would do that. I ordered a reman one, not as cheap as that one. It's supposed to be here in 2 to 4 days. Should be the proper one that drops right in, and then we can also wire up. So that kind of sucks. And that was the other bad news, that no part supplier is even showing being able to get it. It's an online purchase only. Womp, womp, womp. But the floor's in. We're gonna use our Alex Flex DAP brand seam sealer. She's paint ready in 30 minutes, good for 60 years. Great for crown molding, trim, windows, doors, and floors. See, I was like, oh, you made a mess already. No, that was for right there where the rust got carried away. What hole? Oh, yeah. You want to see some proper rust repair, go watch the Scout. Sometimes it ain't worth it on a $500 truck, guys. We're going to start fixing all the rust on this. The floor pans are the least of our worries. But don't worry, guys. We're going to get her looking better, even with this. Getting her a trick up my sleeve.
Man, that is some fast rust repair right there.
Oh, yeah. Y'all come see me for your rust repair needs.
Rust repair in a can, baby.
We'll get her done in 1 day, guaranteed. You want it done or not? Dang. Nice little bead there.
Looks like bathtub.
Apparently Chevy Love's got about 12 body or bed mounts just on the rear. 3 more aside at the front.
No way.
These beds are never falling off.
They may rust off, but they're not gonna fall off. Oh, this one ain't have all the bolts in.
Good. Cause damn.
Does this make you reminisce about the Dalton? It does to me.
Having no bed on a mini truck?
Yeah.
I would drive the tires off this thing as is.
With no bed, I love
When
it.
he met me, I was driving the OG Datsun with no bed. Y'all just seen me do a full, precise notch on his stout, so we'll kind of zoom through it. And we'll also be swapping her out to the 3-inch lower blocks. All right, woo, got her marked. Oh, don't scratch the cap. I just pulled so hard I pooped a wrench. Put a little looby dooby on that booty.
Smell good?
Yeah. Give me a bump. Ooh, don't get crazy. Two are nylock, two are not, just with lock washers. Fits this build perfect. About to say, you're gonna hit it like a girl, hit it like a big girl. Y'all need one heck of a workbench and part storage. Get your International Scout.
They got all the good storage space.
Got all the compartments. Can you tell we'd cut those with the Sawzall back in the day?
How many years ago was that? 4?
Couple. So I laid out our first one, and with the squared all the way around, as long as we always line up our marks to the bottom, boop, to the center, and we're facing that direction, in theory it should always put us right where we're supposed to be, ish. Double plated down the center. Many trucks don't play around.
Watch your toes.
Slick wanted to get a side, I'll get the other side. That way if David's new love breaks in half, we'll know who messed up. Well, there you have it, folks. We got the 1 hour C notch. She ain't gonna break in half by any means.
Ain't no way.
Slick done got her burn in on that side. GUD, good enough for this rig. Good morning. Last night before I did go in, I ended up grinding down those edges and slapping a little black paint, make us the welder we ain't. I was supposed to have exhaust tubing this morning. It got lost by the parts house. I ordered stuff for a front suspension well over a week ago. Come to find out, it ain't even shipped yet. I plan to get little throw rugs they sell at the local farm store to cover that up for cheap. Turns out they're no longer available. Slick thought he had a fuel gauge for it. I think the fuel gauge is missing. And the list goes on for parts that aren't here yet, won't be here till tomorrow. Things are going great. They're going really good. We're gonna push through. I told you we're gonna swap from a 4-inch block to a 3-inch block. I think that's what these are. Howdy doody. Rare sight, folks. I'm unlowering a vehicle, a smidgen. I don't think that's fitting her hole. Oh yes, it looks like we may have ground on that dowel on these ones. Gotta take a little off the top. Nailed it. be careful, we'll tear up our hood. The point I was trying to make to you is 200 pounds bouncing back there. We didn't even get it to hit, and it don't have shocks right now. Shocks will improve that. So we definitely did some good right there. Got to digging through my parts cabinet. I knew I had some random shocks in there. Those sure look like the exact same size of the old ones. 31,000. Yeah, I've got a pair. The parts house can't get them till 11, but P-Thing's got them in stock, baby. For now, I'm not gonna install the hardware. Those are a very soft shock, so those ones are good, but still I can compress it very easy. It comes back out very slow. A stiffer shock would definitely benefit on this. So we'll see the other ones that come in. They're a different part number than those. We ain't played good news, bad news in a minute. Let's play that. Good news. My buddy Aaron had exhaust pipe. Slick had bins. And at the one store I found the little throw rugs I was after. Bad news. The parts house that got our intake gaskets told Slick this morning at like 8:45, give us 45 minutes. We'll have the truck unloaded. Your gaskets are here. So I drive over 20 minutes there and they go, oh yeah, they're not here. They're coming later. We'll call you when they come in. Good news. Woo, I got some new propane for my torch. Bad news for that other parts house. I'm taking this with me when I go to get those intake gaskets. That's right. Just playing. Everything's fine. I'm here for the intake gaskets. Which one of y'all told my friend they were here, huh? And they weren't, huh? Oh yeah, they ain't gonna be ready. I'm gonna give one of them a booty whipping they're gonna remember for a while. Let's just say that whipping's gonna last, if you catch what I'm saying. About to get in my zone on them. I got it out of me. We're fine. Let's build some exhaust. Floppy Joe, floppy Joe. That's the speed removal service right there. If we tried to undo that, that'd be all kinds of bad. Pretty cool little downpipe there, so we're gonna add on right there. Luckily, that ain't all rusted out, but what I remember, me and Slick were talking about how that pipe would not weld for crap. So we're gonna clean that up and hope for the best. Now, my buddy stole me a full stick and then this piece of scrap where they had flared the end and cut her on a 45 or so. So we're gonna slide that on about there. Got to put her in this notch, and then we got to kick up and over here somehow. Probably 45 right here, and then 45 again. The whole wiggler. Well, it's just enough to put her underneath the drive shaft. Set in 9 inches. Found this piece that almost fits. The good thing is I have no clue how far that went down in there. According to that one, about right there. So we're gonna mark that right there, which is right at 1 inch. Yeah, about 13/16. We're gonna mark from our mark right there. I said we wanted to add 9 inches. Anything we can full weld on the bench we'll gladly take. Little index mark action. Put my glove around the pipe here just to make sure that we're not hitting anywhere. Gonna pick up on that until we're happy. And then that angle. Smoking. It lines up really good. That was one of our factory hanger locations. Ooh, I think this is gonna work good. Now the love tap was super loud. I know exhaust pipe would help, or tailpipe, getting it out from underneath the truck, but I hated riding in that thing because it's so loud. I mean, like droney, high pitch, give you a headache loud. David lives about an hour away, so if he's driving this thing that far, he's gonna get a headache. I do think a tailpipe would help, but also I have this muffler right here, which is definitely gonna be quieter than that thing. Now it's not my truck, so maybe we should let him pick. But David said do what you would do if it was yours. I didn't like the stout exhaust until I added a tailpipe, and now it's fine. But without the tailpipe, it was miserable. It was like a night and day difference. That one's definitely gonna flow better than that one. And this little turd needs all the help it can get. So I think we're gonna go with the little red rocket right back on because it's definitely gonna flow better. And we're gonna hope that the tailpipe makes the difference. And if not, we can change it in the future. No big deal. I love building exhaust at least 3 times. The old red rocket's polished and practically brand new. Gotta slap the cherry bomb on it. All I have set of damned old mags and some cherry bombs. Right there. Just like the old love tap itself. Let's get a little janky. Let's put a little jank on it. Put a little stank on it. Oh. So for a tailpipe, we got a problem. That shock goes in there right at an angle to really make it hard to pick a side. And I was trying to figure out pieces to get this like that. But the problem is, we're gonna limit our axle with that. We can't come up into the bed floor. So for that to be below the bed floor, our axle's gonna hit that next instead of our C-notch, which ain't no good. So we got one solution, and this happens on some lowered vehicles. It's to go underneath the axle. Obviously there's a lot more room. The only problem with that is we want it removable, and I didn't have flanges for this, so I got to looking through my stuff. I do have some 2 1/4 flanges. I had a leftover piece or 2 from the Datsun, and it's flared in, slips onto our 2-inch, and fits in there a little better. So I cut some small chunks of that to make little adapter rings here. So we'll make our flange removable right there off of that, drop a hanger somewhere up there, back here. If you ever got to work on it or whatever, boom, 4 bolts, it'll be out the way. How many welds will we do? How many welds does it take? Little drill and tappy tap, cut the top off of our hanger, and we got one of our mounts right here. Now I told you janky, not swanky. So that flange is ready to weld. We'll be able to weld this, and then we'll replace my duct tape hanger with a real one. That kicks down. However, it is higher than our plate right here, so it shouldn't drag too often. Definitely higher than the cross members and stuff. I like it. Woo, existing hole. That was meant to be. D-U-N, she is done. Well, kinda. I always like to aim a tailpipe this way, and then we can slip fit a straight piece in there. We'll finalize that once the bed's on. This flange is welded. Where we slipped it on the OG pipe, it's welded. Everything's tightened up, she is good to go. And this one ain't gonna fall off here now. Now I'd ordered some shocks, and these ones are stiffer than the ones I had, so we're gonna put these on. They'll be better. Ratchet strap shock install. Them bottom ones, those bushings are tight. They go, once they go, they're easy. But getting to that point's a pain. The fuel tank's in the way over here, so I can't tap it with a hammer. I just want to install a shock. We got her whooped now. We got threads, plenty of them. Snap, snap. This wire that feeds our fuel pump, it was hanging and dangling. It was too long, so I shortened it up and actually zip tied it where it don't drag the ground. You know, the little things. I bet this little bit stiffer shock is just what it needed. Yeah. Oh yeah, that thing's golden. And she don't look too shabby. Since we've got the welder out and slice and dice our battery, they have it bell and wired in, which is pretty pot county. I'm proud of them. It is a pretty big battery though. If it was to start arcing out on stuff, we could burn down the wee little love tap. So when I was looking through shocks earlier, or first shocks, I found this. Oh, plastic. Well, I was thinking it was something we could weld on, but hey, you never know. I mean, that's almost the right size. I think we can whip something up real quick though. My little odds and ends table over there, we got some 2-inch wide, 1/8 inch thick. And one of our holes is about right down there. And the other one is about right here. So they're actually not straight across from each other. So I think if we drilled a hole right there in the middle, just eagle eye that lined up, and we'd do the same right in there-ish. Perfect. So I kind of got our even spacing down here. I'm gonna trace our washers, and then we know where we can trim up to. And I'm wanting to weld those underneath here. So I'm gonna mark it on top, and then we can transfer our marks to the bottom. Weld it. This is some of that fire from the hip fabrication. That'll do. Now the point of a truck like the old love tap is just to have fun, guys. It's not all serious. So let's have a little fun. I wish I could tell you chasing parts has been fun, but then I'd be lying to you. Now I'm not a pinstriper, and this ain't the kind of brush that I like using, but it's the only one I got. And that looks pretty terrible. I'll try one more time. Now I'm not very good, but some of y'all will say that my style of pinstriping is the Kandinsky style, which is from the late 60s. I don't know, I just made that name up. I've never even heard that name before. I was just trying to sound like I knew something. I was doing good till that one. On that one, I did exactly what I didn't want to do, which was put a big old fat line. That's all right, we're gonna run with it. I pudding, add black, add white, no, add tan. Actually, the second can I opened was another blue, so 2 blues. Which kind of goes with the truck, because it's 2 blues, huh? Think about it. It's the 2 blue Chevrolet Love, baby. My real style's called No Rhyme or Reason. Just start drawing lines. Eventually connect them. Just like everything I do. Boy, it'll work or it won't. If you don't like it, it's a good thing it ain't on your truck. David, if you don't like it, sucks to be you. I don't know. Paint it black. Thing fits awesome. It really snugs down this battery. You can shake the whole truck with a battery now. Go with our coil. Dang, she's the 2-tone blue too. Pert near matches. That was accident. I decided that would look silly underneath the hood, guys, so we're gonna undo it. Psych! I decided it'd look silly if it was lonely, so I did our breather too. And then I still had paint on the brush, so I just slapped a stripe on the coil there. That color is really close to that. So then when this is all together again, it'll be like boom, 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 bang, pop, zip, zap, dang. Dang, look at all that scraping underneath the hood. That thing got some damned old pin scraping. Well, I'm going through a little electronic troubleshooting here, and that ain't the funnest, but I figure I'll show you what I'm doing and thinking. One, the fuel pump on this thing is wired straight to the ignition, so as soon as you turn it on and pumping fuel, I put these right here. That way you can unplug it from up here, plug it back in very easy. Now they said they'd like to have the fuel gauge working, and this connection was loose, but when the key comes on, it is picking up some. You turn the key off, it goes back down, so it's probably just not the correct sender. I have this one, which is not correct neither. It's kind of bass backwards. So that tells us we've got 12 volt feeding our gauges, so we should have 12 volts feeding our temp gauge, but we've never had a temp gauge hooked up on this. So now I've got us a jumper wire, and I'm gonna ground it out and then plug this in over there. And when we get a good ground of that gauge should spike. So I took this and I push it into these, assuming this fed down here, like to the carburetor and stuff. Long story short, I heard a pop. Yeah, I found a 12 volt hot because I popped a fuse. So it ain't none of these. It's not that. These all go down and feed. This would have been for your old like washer, pump or something. And then we got this one. This is our last one. Now that black and red I know feeds our ground for the distributor, or it used to anyhow. That one I marked right there is a 12 volt hot, so we know it's not that. So that leaves the green and that yellow. Plug that into our green. And our temp gauge did not move. So we're basically down to yellow. And if it ain't this, who knows? Hey-yo, hey-yo, we found it. It's the yellow. Temp gauge is one gauge that I really like to know, guys. The oil gauge, you'll know if you don't have oil pressure. Your motor's gonna lock up. People are like, oh, what about a volt gauge? Well, when you try to start that sucker and you ain't got enough voltage for it to crank anymore, you've got a voltage problem. Woo, we got lucky, guys. I thought I'd pulled that temp sender out of there and just plugged it, and I did not. So as long as we hook us up a wire off of that to that terminal I just found, once this is all back together, we'll have a functioning temperature gauge, temp gauge, fuel gauge, blinkers. That's not gonna be fun. That's a guarantee. Don't worry, we ain't even made it to them pesky blinkers yet. This thing, it's temperamental, always popping fuses. You wiggle this wrong or that wrong. The heater, fan blower fuse will pop, and then the windshield wipers, you better not touch them or something will pop. So I pulled our little fuse box here. The windshield wipers I don't think have ever worked. That should be fed from this fuse. There's no power there. It would come out this wire, so I put us a jumper there, and that actually gets the wipers and stuff working. And also, I do have that working right now. Also, with the wipers working, our radio turns on. We ain't getting no jams or nothing, but she lights up anyhow. Woo, fire that crack go up. So there's wipers and blower motor working in harmony. Let me show you how I got that to work. I was reading this, that bottom's its own, but the regulator and heater share what I'm guessing is ignition power. That sucker right there goes out to 2 fuses. Our heater's still hooked up, but guess what? That other one's not hooked up. Here's why. See, I got my meter in there. Let me plug her back in here real quick. It reads a direct ground, so a short. We shouldn't be feeding 12 volt keys to a short. We unplug it, it goes away. So with our wiring being janky, I don't even know if this thing's actually helping our alternator to charge, because it does charge. I don't know much about these. I just don't think we should be reading that ground right there. I can tell you what I do understand, that if that blue wire right there is what feeds that fuse for the windshield wipers and it ain't hooked up underneath there, that ain't gonna work. Yeah, when someone had cut in some of those wires, they cut it right there, the wire wasn't even hooked up. So I just hooked it up. Wipers are wiping. We got 2 speeds, slow and slower. I got them to both indicate there's two flashers underneath there. I'm not sure which is which. That bulb was just dirty. Well, and she's in pretty bad shape. That little piece right there is missing. So cleaned it out, little looby dooby on it to get the springs working again. Now I cycled the hazards. Hey-yo, we got two going, baby. Hazards are off though. Unless you're bass backwards day, then they're on. A few Phillips screws and that plastic cover just comes off of our column. And then the blinker switch actually just clamps on. A couple clamps and screws. And it plugs right in, which is nice. Because this thing wants to turn right. But then when we come back to center, oh, it actually went left. That's the first time it's been hung up. And I was trying to push pretty hard. I was afraid I was gonna break it. So I was like, yeah, we better try to get her off there. Let's give her the rebuild. Yeah, so on this top side, there's the little detemp ball. And it just pushes up easier than it pulls that down. In fact, it's even looks like it's broke some of that plastic. So that little mound of plastic that it's got to get past, I'm gonna shave her down a little bit with her file, see if we can get it to turn or go down a little easier. I'm gonna shoot some lube in on that ball. That ball should be spring loaded. Yeah, it is. So we get that ball where it'll go down in there a little easier too. That ain't gonna hurt nothing. That's better. Still gonna shave a little more off. Shaved her down just a hair more. Put some of our brake pad lubricant, whatever, in there. It's just what I had over there on the box. And that is so much better. Hey, yo. So switch is still good. So a minute ago, we've got two flashers underneath there. One's for your hazards. Who cares about those? The other's gonna be for your blinker. The blinker one, I suspected would be burned up. This thicker wiring's for the hazards. Gonna handle all the lights at once. It makes sense you got thicker wires. I got them working off of that flasher, so I knew that flasher would work. This was the style of connector for the blinkers though. Straight across from each other, and we needed them 90 to be able to work on the flasher that we have. So boom, baby, I cut them, put them on the two terminals I knew was working with the hazards. And there's that white wire. Now we got 12 volts, our switch is good. I have a stinking suspicion when I turn this to the right, we're gonna have a blinker. When you're good, you're good. Hopefully left indicator. Boom! That's what I'm talking about. We got left indicator. Now if we had bulbs actually hooked up out there or on the back, it'd be blinking. I got her figured out. That's what I'm talking about. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Good morning. Slapped our column and some of our wiring back together. Shook and wiggled that bulb and everything till I got it working. Unfortunately, no update on parts, so I'm gonna do what any reasonable mini truck enthusiast would do. Well, I'm gonna keep dressing up this interior. When I found those shocks the other day, I realized I had half a box of this kill mat insulation, and it'll help with the hot and cold. But main thing it's gonna do, or that I want it for, is to kind of take the dung out of these overlap floor pans. I like to heat mine up with the old torch. It makes her stick a lot easier. And nothing fancy here, folks. We'll do a little overlapping. As you, woo! That's hot. Got that part nice and toasty. Hear that? We're trying to help take that slap, slap, slap and make it more dung. Now this is gonna be a shocker, but I'm not getting overly technical. That's way better. To stick on our theme here of making something cool for as cheap as we can. Well, y'all have seen me do this trick once in Dad's Toyota, but for a mini truck, especially kind of rat rod, as some people would say. These right here are a great solution. And yeah, I found these at like a leftover wholesale store for a couple bucks a piece, so I stocked up. Right here we've got $11 worth of cheap flooring that I think looks cool. Reminds you of going to grandma's house, or it does me anyhow. Utility rugs, or as they call them, hand-woven chindi rugs. Hey baby, you grab me that chindi rug right there. He ain't really gonna. Oh yes I am. Guys, this is how I used to build trucks. Drive around, get what I could get around here, and just make it work with what I had. Now, granted, I was 17, but who cares? This is fun. I have this glue. Like I said, kind of the whole approaching the whole thing here. And with all those crazy colors, it may get crazy with our seat cover, but we've got our $15 worth out of our old Amazon seat cover. We can find another one for it if we need to. I mean, we don't want this thing to look ridiculous. You know what I just realized? We should have cut one to fit in the middle first. Then we can overlap. I don't really know what I'm doing. So check that out. No measuring. I just kind of cut a U shape, knowing that needed to hug there. Cut kind of like a plus sign where that can come up through there. And then that should overlap that just a little bit. Ooh, how professional. Why didn't you just get carpet? Hell, I can't even get points for a distributor. I can't get a distributor. I can't get intake gaskets. I can't get spark plugs, for crying out loud. You think I'm gonna get carpet quick? Cover up pretty much our kill mat. Come over here towards our edge. She's gonna be good. Hate it all you want, but I think this looks way better. And it's just a bunch of random colors going everywhere. Felt like a gray seat cover and just wrap some gray vinyl on each door. She'd be cherry in there now. And between patching the floor, sealing the floor, dynamite, all that, we're probably like $30 into that, which is way better than all that leaking floor we did have. Success! I sent a picture of it to David. I said, you're gonna hate or love this one. And he said, I love it. Well, that's good. He just encouraged me, because that dash looks terrible. I mean, that thing's all pushed up and flopping. That's good, he likes it though. So let's push our limits. Boom, cut those, glue it to itself where it don't come undone. Looks to me like we got a nice little dash pad. The only problem with our design is it covers up our defrost vents, which actually, come to find out, with all that broken dash out of there, they blow quite well. Scraps. Just cleaning her up real quick. Oh. Trim a little off the bottom and off the back. I need around them corners now just to get her for the slit fit. Boom, baby. What do you think about that, sheet metal expert?
Very nice.
Bending this to fit. Slick painted it for me. I done buggered her up with fingerprints. I did glue these in, and I'm kind of bending that to the shape it looks like it's gonna need. And right there's sort of what we're after. Hey, looky there. Little gap right in there, but that sits down in there pretty good. It functions better than it did before. We'll take it. I think the old love tap's driving me a little tapping crazy. So for me, one of the things that I do not enjoy about the love tap is how terrible it rides. That's why we addressed the back. Now for the front, I was supposed to have coilovers in this week. I was informed yesterday evening they're not even gonna ship out until tomorrow, and tomorrow's a Friday. So that does us no good. So it got me thinking, coilovers don't really go with budget mini truck anyway. So I'm like, what can we do to make it ride better as is? For one, our shock is our hard stop. It's what it was bottoming out on. And when this thing has all the weight down on the ground, it has maybe like 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches of travel before it bottoms out on that. So a shorter shock's gonna allow that to collapse more. Then some metal in there's gonna start clanking. And that's because we did re-index our torsion bars. However, we still got them backed off in a way where the torsion bars are a little loose. So I was like, well, if we could tighten those up, which we can a little bit because we picked the back up an inch. So we're gonna tighten it up to pick up the front an inch. That's gonna help us out. But then I got to thinking of the Toyotas. And I'm like, how can we do this cheap? Whatever. Well, an old school trick on the Toyotas, because the lower ball joint's very similar to this one where there's 4 massive bolts, and they do bolt on top of the control arm, is to take those out, get you some longer bolts, and put you about 1 inch of spacer in there. So right here we've got about a $70 hardware trip lowering kit. Puddin', that's dangerous, you can't do that. No, it's not. 4 7/16 grade 8 bolts are not gonna break. Put spacers in between there, that's just gonna move the entire spindle up. After we did the rear, I said we need to pick up the front 1 inch. However, now we have a way where we can lower the front 1 more inch. So off the torsion bars, we need to pick the front end up 2 inches. That's gonna put a ton of torsion bar back into this front suspension. Now all we gotta do is everything. Come here, big boy. To pull these bolts, we do gotta pull the steering rod, arm, whatever, and to pull it, you gotta take all of this apart. No big deal. She'll come apart pretty quick. Whoop! That's dust shield bracket for the caliper. Boom, steering arm. Little corrosion. Driver's side came right apart. So this air hammer is not very good for Theo's naps. It is great for separating these. Pause. Do not do what I just did. I 1000% meant to loosen the torsion bar to take the spring load off that. Now obviously, I told y'all they weren't very tight. There wasn't even a spring load on there, come to find out. But if you did have a lot of tension on yours, that could be dangerous because that arm's gonna wanna pop down. Now remembered on the driver's side to loosen it, and before you do, measure your threads. We had 1 inch, so I wrote that down. I'm going bolt from the bottom up. That gives us a low profile head facing down. Slide your 2 spacers in. It's as simple as that, guys. 7/8 of an inch. That's what we get from those. No parts are hard to find, but this ball joint over on this side's feeling a little sloppy, so I'm gonna have to see if I can find some for them for the future. On those, I like to just take my time, and I end up hitting all of them about 3 times a piece, just gradually clamping that whole thing down. I know it looks funky having spacers, but if I fabricated arms and had 3/8 thick steel tubing, bushing sticking up like that were all welded, no one would question it. But because these are clamped in there for some reason, people will be like, oh, that's sketchy. No, it's not. That's it, guys. We just dropped the front of this truck 1 inch. Now we just gotta put the rest back together, and then it all just bolts right back together. Forgot to turn the camera on, but on the outside 2 ones, because they stick up in that steer arms there, I did have to trim off our extra threads just so she can pivot and not hit them. No big deal. She's back together, except for sway bar end links. That's because with that spaced up, we're either gonna have to space that up or just get some longer ones. For now, we're not too worried about them. I do wish I would have measured from the ground to the fender well where we had a baseline to know where we were. I did not do that, and I should have. Now we just gotta go off of some lucky guessing. I told you before we were right at 1 inch. And that was not very much. Right there, we're about 1 1/16 inches. We're picking up 1 inch. Well, close to 2. So I'm not sure how much we should go. We're gonna try about right in there, whatever that is. Right there's 1 1/4 inches. Now I just gotta get this side to match. Nailed it. Now we do this fun thing where we drop it down and see how it sits. If it's too high, then we go up and we keep adjusting until we get it where we want it. Here we go, moment of truth. We're hoping to tuck or be close to tire. Dang! Yes. We could actually, I think we're gonna be able to pick up more. I think that's probably still too low. We definitely have more spring, more travel there. Be hard to tell until we get the bed on. Yeah. This chair's outworked 100 men. Maybe with that weight and me bouncing, she still don't hit. Bed's tightened down, lined up the best I can get it, with the help of a little ratchet strap. You can build a mini truck, you better have ratchet strap. I did tighten up our torsion bars a hair more. We went up to our measurement 1 3/8 inches now, and shocks just came in. Y'all wanna know something I can't even make up to be funny? My wife just brought this over and said, hey, I got this for me because it's a coffee drink, but it tastes too much like coffee. Hey, y'all got that Pepsi Cola that happens to taste like Sprite? Oh no, it tastes like Pepsi? Strange. I'm opposite. I wish this thing tasted more like coffee and not so much like Frosty the Snowman farted his little cinnamon flakes on it or whatever. Little magical Christmas drink. Shock installed. Dirt daubers destroyed. Womp, womp, womp. I went to set it down and I pushed on it and it bottomed out pretty quick. I was like, what the heck? Should have way more. So I looked, and the main problem is with how I spaced this little drag link, because this ain't an A-arm, this bar is now hitting our frame and right up, it's getting ready to hit our sway bar because it's spaced up as well. Quite conveniently though, that thing's about the same thickness as our bushing there. And since we did 2 of them on that back side, I'm gonna remove them, drop them back down to the arm, put 1 bushing on top, puts it right back down into the factory position, and we still get our lowering effect. And luckily with how this installs, we can just loosen those 2, leave it all together. I did take the torsion bar tension off. Got them swapped. When we do ball joints on this thing eventually for him, shorter bolts on the inside so we get rid of those extra spacers. I should have got us some more travel though. Here we go, moment of truth. Way better. I think we're right at the very end, pushing as hard as I can. Something's just starting to hit. Before, guys, I could stand here like that and just dong, dong, dong. Oh, this thing's gonna ride 100 times better than it did. I'm not saying it's gonna be perfect. It's still a very cheaply slim mini truck, but it's gonna be a night and day difference. Sway bar end links will help as well. I just realized, so we got a voltage regulator in. It reads the same way, so I'm not suspecting an issue there. I cycled everything. I'm not blowing fuses anymore, so I think I fixed my problem. Everything's still working. When I had the headlights on though, it dropped the fan motor because that's pulling so much power. And I didn't think about this, but we're about to do a double whammy here. In that box are the old school looking headlights that take a new school bulb like I put in the Stout. That's so David can see better when it gets dark. But to power those up for max power, I got this little harness kit. Now you could build one of these. However, this thing's like $18 or something. And if you've got single headlights, this is the way to go. It's boring, so I'm just gonna explain it real quick. You hook your one up to your battery, you ground out, this goes to your headlight, this plugs into your existing harness, and then your power that feeds it now just becomes signals to turn these relays on. So we're not gonna suck all of our power when our headlights are on now, because it's only gonna use enough power to pull in these relays, which ain't nothing. Mount it close to your battery. This one obviously runs over to your headlight. That's pretty simple and easy. Nice little upgrade for like 19 bucks. Yep. How stinking simple is that, huh? These are fancy zip ties for this job. Ran all of that off of existing holes. Didn't even drill no new ones. Grounded that side out. On this side, we've got our horn right there, so we're gonna ground off of it. So, slight issue. I didn't order the 7-inchers. I ordered these 5.5 or whatever the smaller ones are on accident. So I have to order the proper one of those. However, this truck currently does not have low beams because they're burnt out. And I remember Slick said there's a pair of headlights behind the seat, so we're gonna swap these in for now. Still being off the relay setup's gonna help. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Finally give them some power. Hook up our fuse holder and shoot. That don't even look bad for being a quick install, does it? Oh, hell no. Hey-o! Hey-o! Oh, we got headlights. Oh, we got headlights. Oh, they're kind of bright. Just wait till we get them better ones. Go for right. Oh, yeah. Go for left. Hot damn. No blinkers, no headlights, barely running. Slick about had this thing about to the point of putting a caution slow sign on the back and hooking a damn horse to it. Damn Jedediah's carriage has more features than what this thing had when it first came in here, for crying out loud. Do not fear. I realized our sway bar end links would probably fit now that we'd flopped that rod, so those are back on. I am getting so much done. First half of the day really whooped us, but the second half of the day, I did the whipping. There it is. That's what it needed. That stiffened that up a lot. Family's about to be home. We'll be back on her in the morning. Morning. Today's a glorious day. We're about to try to get this thing running again. Finally. Slap that piece back in. That looks super cool. And just for fun, I hooked my meter up and I did an amp draw test with the headlights hooked up factory, and then with them hooked up on that harness, and it's pulling 10 less amps. Look what came in yesterday. Slide our gaskets on. Before I actually install that, this tube right here hooks down to a vent off the top of like our oil pan maybe. It's kind of hard to see up underneath there. Just another one of them things where if we can clean it up, now's the time to do it. However, we need some type of cap on that. I'm gonna use a piece of this hose. I think this hose has been on there since the truck was new, and this stuff is still flexible, good to go. This will outlast a plug. Hey y'all, don't mind me. I'm just getting distracted again. I know I said no oil gauge and blah, blah, blah. These are some different threads, but that adapter is right by that vent that we just capped. The guy sent me a box of old used parts and this oil gauge was in there, so we can hook it up real quick and simple. More or less, I just want to know what the oil pressure is on this motor now out of curiosity. My tap here says this is now 1/8 inch MPT threads. What do you think, Inspector? Was it worth installing? This came with it. I had leftover fittings from our old ones. Boom. Put a little coil on her. Maybe that'll keep it from cracking. Maybe it won't. It's a good sign when we're already reading about 18 PSI on oil pressure and she ain't even started yet. She's doing good. With our newer reduced weight intake manifold, putting this hardware on so much easier. Now I can fit my ratchet and wrench up in here. Just torquing in our middle, working our way out. I don't know the actual torque sequence, but do your little hop skip around. Next, we got to do a little arts and crafts. All right, take her back to the kindergarten. Color inside the lines, y'all. Build some new gaskets for our adapter in Weber. I guess hindsight, we could have done this for the intake. Just trace her out, cut you one out. Boop. Socket, knock you some fresh holes right in there, huh? Adapter on, got our gaskets greased up. Ooh, let's give her the plop and drop. Little pro tip, before you tighten these down, make sure you get every one of them started a few threads, because sometimes you got to pick up on the Weber just to be able to like sneak a nut where it's supposed to go. Yeah. Oh, she snuck down, folks. Take my time going all the way around. Done a little on each one. Oh yeah. Man, that looks so much better. Just kind of decluttered all that extraness underneath there. Before we hook up the fuel, I'm actually gonna drain the tank since we've got that unplugged, where we can figure out where does the fuel gauge read when this thing is empty. Yeah. As she drains, I whipped us up a little harness. Showed y'all what one was for the temp gauge. That's old blue. The other one's a 12-volt key. That's gonna be for our choke. Just whipping us up our own little harness. I like this cloth tape, so I'm gonna wrap it in this instead of just having colorful wires bouncing everywhere. We definitely don't want it colorful underneath here. Sounds like we're about out of fuel. That connector will slide right on. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh yeah. She's starving. So it looks like our gauge is backwards. See, it's plumb way over there. So that's E, like super E, like you're about to be in trouble. So probably when it's pointing at full, that's probably a good time to like just treat full as your E. And then it's gonna be opposite. Once we fill this thing up with gas, it's gonna go over. So it's basically just swapped. So I put a mark where actual E is. Then when we fill it up, we'll do the same thing. Makes sense if you just don't think about it. You'll be fine. Just don't forget that the fuel gauge is backwards and you won't be taking the Shoelace Express. But if you forget, you're like, oh, this sucker's full, I can drive. Quick little rewire to get ready for our points distributor again. We're gonna hook our ballast up this time, so hopefully we don't smoke those points until our new distributor comes in. So now instead of 12 volts sharing off of the positive post on the coil, I moved everything to the positive post on our ballast. Now that can just feed the coil itself. That still leaves our new module hooked up for when we do get our new distributor. And as far as the ground for the coil, I just unhooked it, moved it over here. We'll plug our distributor in. When we swap out our distributor, we'll take this out of that clamp and plug it right back on here where it came off of. The coil's capable of handling 12 volts because it's been running all these years, no problems. So then we can move a 12 volt wire over there to get hotter spark out of this puppy with that electronic ignition. But for now, this should calm down on smoking points in a month or two. Now, speaking of points, let's get this distributor ready to drop in. It'll be easier to do with the radiator hose not in the way. Of course, our points we can pull right here and just swap them out real quick like. There's our old hot smoked ones. And then there's some new ones for you. It'll be real easy to be able to set these right here. Let me look up and see what our gap should be. Internet says 18 to 20, so we'll go with 19 thousandths. Hey, that's the perfect. I eagle-eyed that baby. Perfect. That'll work right there. Also, it don't look like we had ever replaced the condenser on this unit, so guys, we would probably be fine running off this distributor, especially with a fresh condenser and using the ballast resistor, you know, kind of like you're supposed to. Hey, we threw this thing together fast back in the day, okay? And it was just working, so we sent it. No matter how well this works, we're still going with electronic though. Can't beat it. Proper wrench is key. Push that down in there. And right there, we are pointing right at number 1. Oh, plug her on in. Clamp her on down. I had this. Check that out. Then we can get rid of the duct tape special. That looks much nicer than that. Since we're here, we might as well get it a brand new air filter. Oh, man, that thing's falling apart. It really does need a brand new air filter. I don't know if you're supposed to be able to see that much daylight. Do not fear. I keep a replacement right here. See, brand new. And here's the part. Which way do our pinstripes face? Huh? 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 Like that. Upper radiator hose back on, put some coolant in there, got our timing light hooked up, poured our fuel back into our gas tank. I do have the distributor unhooked and just put a vacuum gauge there to plug that. I think she's ready to try to fire. Fired up pretty good. Heck of a lot quieter than she used to be. Ooh, look at all that oil pressure. Close to 60 PSI. Assuming we started right before 20. Timing was real close. I read 8 to 10 on this, and that's right where we were. We're right at 8. I bumped her towards the 10. We'd like to give her a little extra. Fired up good. Seems pretty stinking happy right where it's at. Tighten that down. Besides when we swap to the electronic distributor, them saying it has problems that come and go, I've had bad plug wires that cause that. Sometimes they work good and other times not so much. But we're not gonna put the new plug wires and stuff on until we get that distributor swap. Same with our spark plugs. We'll gap those out to bigger than what these ones are, set for points of course, and then do a fresh set of wires and all that in one shot. I think most of their problem in not being able to tune it out was probably the vacuum leaks. I bet as it gets hotter, or you know, stuff warps and changes, sometimes it's leaking worse than other times probably. Speaking of leak, we just overfilled that. Shoot, she's a little idling machine, ain't she? Go ahead, slap this piece of vacuum hose on here. That still got nasty sounding, louder than I thought it would get. I didn't like that. Not my truck. Move our tassels. Looky there, temp gauge is coming up, baby. We are charging. Don't forget before you go driving, that piece of tailpipe I didn't actually weld on there. We're just gonna pull it off and take her for a little test drive here, see how she does. Now luckily I built this ravine into my driveway just so I could test drive lowered stuff and see how it rides. That's way better. Now I was not the primary driver of this vehicle, so I don't know a lot. I know that felt just awesome driving through that other dip in my driveway. This is definitely way better than it used to be. Oh, that exhaust is nasty. Slick said this thing could beat the Stout. Well, I'll let him drive this and I'll drive the Stout, and I guarantee you this thing will not beat the Stout. She does sound like she's a Honda Hot Boy. This thing's slower than heck, Slick, and she ain't beating no Stout. obnoxious and loud, but with it going out the back and pointed that away, in here it's 100 times quieter, guys. I used to hate riding in this thing because of how loud the exhaust was. Now factor in the fact air ain't blowing everywhere coming up through those floors. All the extra stuff we added on the floor, it's actually quiet in here. Hey, let me turn my heat on. Oh, temp gauge says it's warm, and we've got good vents now. This thing will cook you out of here. Just the feel of being in the truck, it feels more complete not having the broken dash, guys. Having just our throw mats, again, our $30 upgrades in here is making a night and day difference with how comfortable it is, but also just how it feels. This thing will beat the stout. See, we'll spin them. There's that Honda fart. Hey yo, guess it's got wipers. And this thing rides 100 times better as well. No sarcasm there. I'm talking about literally a night and day difference. Another reason why I hated riding in this thing. We'd hit something and just cram. And it is so much better now. It rides better than my S10 does, which is pretty easy to beat. This is better than the E-Haul is now. This is a huge improvement. And what I say that was our $70 upgrade. This is the craziest thing, guys. I just went through that intersection and I use this thing called blankers. She's a good little truck. The budget, throw together, mini truck's gonna live on, and she's gonna live on better than ever. It's a damn good old rig. I'm gonna go fill this thing up so we can see where the fuel gauge is actually pointing at when she's full. I ain't got no gas in it. Oh, she's pretty full. Oh, spill a little on top, that's fine. I see our fuel door cover, it broke, huh? That's right. She's there in spirit. Now that she's driven some and got to bounce some, let's see how she's looking. Can't even tell we picked it up an inch, not hardly. Picking it up 1 inch was well worth it for the amount that this thing's just handling so much better and the amount you're able to drive the dang thing. That was 1 inch well sacrificed. Most of us men, we don't want to give up no 1 inch, you know. Tires right up. Got a really short clutch pedal. All right, heater, you're burning me out. Is it dang near Christmas or something? I can't even get out of this place. Dang, says we're going 70, 69. This was right at 70. So old Speedo's pretty accurate on her. Them rings are going, I'll polish them off. Well, there you have it. I don't know what kind of issues they were having. I didn't have none out of it, and I think we've got her running really good. She's driving good. I'm floored, and not like stop sign floored. I'm like really floored. Huge improvements on this thing. I think they're going to be quite surprised as well. Let's put her to a test, huh? I gotta go pick up hot rods, so we'll just take this thing and get these tires mounted up. Because what good's a little shop truck if you can't use it as a shop truck? No rubbing, even with the wheels and tires in the back, which we didn't suspect. So I'm gonna do the proper thing and really test this. I'm gonna pucker my butt a little bit and just hope and pray that that one weak ball joint don't give out, because we're gonna stay running about 40 and smack these, because these ones are terrible. That was not bad at all. Holy cow, guys. I created the damn old Cadillac of mini trucks at this point. Dang!
You got for me?
Just some more wheels and tires. Could be a good little runaround truck now, guys. We done got her lined out, figured out, fixed out. I ain't brought you none in a week, so I figured you were bored over here.
We're at this car place. Is there a car? Yeah, we're at this car place, guys. It's so fun. Really enjoy that. Noise. Noise, noise, noise. Yeah, okay. Dun, dun, dun. What's up, buddy, old pal?
Oh, Hot Rod's working the camera.
Yes, I am.
Either that sun's really bright or she's embarrassed of me. One of the two. It's the sun. We're mini trucking, baby. What do you think?
I love it. I love it.
Does it feel the same as the first time you drove it?
Different ride completely.
It's
Different
awesome. He said it felt like I put a whole new chassis underneath it. We didn't do nothing that crazy. That's fun. Get you some cheap old mini trucks and go rip around town in them with your buddies. Don't tell Taco Boy we're cheating on them. I'm gonna be in trouble. He's at that other Mexican restaurant again. All right, guys, I decided I liked the truck so much we took it back from David. He's back on the Shoelace Express.
It's all right, I'll take it.
Dang near what you started with was what Slick gave you.
That's exactly what I started with.
He's like, hey, you can drive this. You're like, no, I can't. Won't stay running.
We spent all day just to get it running.
Loved it pretty good.
Yeah, she did. Why didn't you have that camera rolling? We may have found a place to be side by side. I will say the love hung with, yeah, with the Stout a lot better I thought it was going to.
It makes some power, yeah.
I thought it was going to be a whipping, and this thing was right behind it.
It makes power.
You got me off the line, but we stayed with you after that.
Yeah. I think the difference is the gear ratios in the transmission, that being 5-speed.
Yeah, if this had a 5-speed.
Woo, that'd be a close one. So that's it, guys. The Love's great. Night and day difference on being drivable. But we got more stuff coming from it. I'll probably knock all that out on a second channel video, getting the front end rebuilt, and then we'll get that slapped in. The headlights did come in, so be looking forward to that on the second channel. Much other than that, David's got a killer little mini truck he can drive around, and we've got another mini truck staying on the road, which makes me happy, guys. Can't drive them all, but you can build them and give them away. And
You can make a whole posse of mini trucks.
Out of both of them, I'm only out of pocket $77, so it ain't bad. Other than that, we're on the Instagrammer, we're on the Facebooker, you can catch us on the Patreon, and I will see y'all in the next one. However, do not forget, sitting on your ass will not finish your project.